Hello, hello, hello. This is David, and I wanted to do this quick video today. Here's a picture of me when I was a baby. I'm almost 80 years old these days, and that was a wonderful experience there in my life that I really believe that Heavenly Father helped me do what I did, and I'm very happy that little Tammy grew up into a wonderful human being, a wonderful person. Anyway, here's the subject of the video today. Brotherly love. Brotherly love. My brother and I, his name is Randy. I don't call him asshat anymore because I've grown up, and I try to be Christ-like. It's hard. It's hard when you have relatives, brothers and sisters, or even parents and friends who are difficult. Let me be careful of the words I use. I just spent 2 hours on the telephone. He lives in Nebraska, and he's 2 years younger than I am. And he and I have been estranged for many, many years, and I've tried to rejuvenate that relationship as a brother. But you know what? My mother had a saying. She said, "David, you can never polish shit." David, you can never polish shit. Well, I didn't know what my good mother was saying, but I tried to rejuvenate that conversation and relationship. And let me tell you what I've learned. I'm not here to dump on my brother, Randy. The world has done that enough. They don't need my help, believe me. I didn't spend a year in a Filipino prison. So anyway, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Here's what I've learned on brotherly love. Just because somebody is genetically related to us doesn't mean that we like them, that we love them. It means that we share genes with them, between half our mother's genetics and our father. Here's what I've learned. I try very, very hard these days in my life. You know that I've got, I don't know, the Sir David the Bard channel has got almost 3.5, 4 million hits on it. It's been there 15 years. Cockroach Disability's only been there a year or whatever. But I try very, very hard to always tell the truth, my truth. And I've learned that my truth is not always the truth of other people. You always have to hear both sides of a story before you can make your own decision of the fact pattern and what you're going to choose to believe. But here was the conversation. I have learned as an old man, number one, shut my fucking mouth. I've learned that. It's taken me a long time. I'm very verbal. I've got good education. I have a large vocabulary. And I've done many, many things over a lifetime. But sometimes shutting our mouths can be the very best way to interact with other carbon creatures, especially relatives. He and I had a fairly decent conversation for about an hour and a half, but then it deteriorated back to the pile of shit that's always been there. And finally I hung up on him because he became insultive, and he basically said, "I can interrupt you in a conversation anytime I want." And I told him and told him and told him and told him before I hung up, "Please don't do that. I have boundaries. I don't want you to insult me. I don't want you to talk poorly about any of my children or my wives. I don't engage in those kinds of conversations." And I told him that usually I will take 5 to 10 seconds to think of a proper response. I want to filter all of my responses, hopefully through the principles of Christ, how Christ treated people. Yeah, he got angry sometimes. He dumped the animals out of the cages at the temple. But his compassion, his understanding, turn the other cheek, the Good Samaritan, all those things filter in my mind. And I try very hard, that Ten Commandments, Sermon on the Mount, to filter what I say and what I do and how I live my life. I have no regrets. I'm very happy. This video right now is, I think it's the 4th of February 2026, And I'm happier today than I've ever been in my entire life. I have a birthday this month, and I'll be 78, so I'm pushing 80. And I just want you to know I learned a few things. If these things can help you, great. If they can't, just throw it in the trash can. I don't care. I don't need validation. I am validation. So anyway, he kept insisting that I'm not a good conversationalist, that I think before I speak, that I speak factually, that I want to make sure that I don't hurt other people's feelings or say things that are untrue. And I don't believe basically in emotional interactions and conversations. Now, to some degree, you know, I have 2 master's degrees in human services, part of a law degree, and counseling my whole life, handicapped children, disabled children, adults, infants. I've run daycare centers. I've learned that you have to speak to people on the level that they're on. If you're speaking to a 2-year-old, you speak differently than you speak to an 80-year-old judge in a federal court. You try to moderate, we should all moderate what we're going to say, how we say it, our tone, our inflection, our words are very, very important. Well, he doesn't want to do that. He wants to say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. He wants to insult me, that I got my education, and as soon as I went to college, I became stupid. And that's his opinion. And I respect that opinion, but when he gave me that opinion, I was quiet and I said, well, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. And then I went quiet, because I'm not going to debate. What's the famous quote? I'm trying to think, Aristotle's or I can't think of the others, that said it's better to let people think that you're stupid rather than opening your mouth and proving that they're right. I misquoted that a little bit, but anyway, I just wanted to listen, and I said to him, well, that's your opinion. Well, he went bullshit. You gotta respond to me. You have to debate me. You have to say what I'm saying right or wrong so that I can beat you up with words. And I go, no, goddamn, I'm past that. That's silliness. That's little boy stuff. My dad can beat your dad up. I don't engage that way anymore with plumbers, electricians, subcontractors, the federal court, the Toro applications and business people. I don't engage that way anymore, but he was insisting that I always comment on his opinion. Well, I'm going to comment on his opinion right now. I was restrained and I was kind, and I tried not to respond to his opinion. Now, one of the things that, before I say that, in counseling, when people came to me in a counseling situation, which is very different than a brother and sister conversation or family conversation, interactions. But I say to people when they say, well, you know, I ran my car over 1,500 people, I jumped off of a cliff, I broke all my arms, they cut off my legs and my brain, what do you think, counselor? And I would say, well, how's that working for you? That was my key way of dealing with mentally ill or deranged, whatever you want to call them, humans that are still struggling to become human. How's that working for you? Well, you know, I'm an alcoholic and I've had 8 DUIs. I don't have a car anymore. I've been in jail for over 20 years. I've killed 20 people, and basically I'm blind because of an accident. And I would say to that alcoholic, well, drinking, how's that working for you? And I'd be quiet. You can't teach a human being anything. Let me tell you something. You cannot teach any human being a thing. All you can do is listen. All you can do is maybe if they ask, give the best advice or the best opinion as a father to his children, mother, etc. But human beings have to learn on their own. And I keep saying to myself, well, David, how has your life been working for you? And I say to myself, I'm trying to evaluate myself, God damn, It's working pretty good. I'm happier today. This is going to be the happiest birthday I've ever had in the middle of February. I'm as happy as I've ever been. I have feelings of kindness around me. I have a small orbit of people that I respect. They respect me. I have a nice place to live. I have transportation. I have wonderful food, air conditioning, heating, entertainment, recreation. No one is suing me. That could happen, change at any minute if you know anything about life. But how is that working for you? How is that working for me? Now, people have to self-evaluate, and I've learned that they self-evaluate sometimes very, very poorly. Every prisoner is innocent. I've never met anybody in prison that doesn't declare their innocence. Now, you know there's aberrations. You know that whatever 1/2% are wrongfully convicted. There are those exceptions. I'm not a stupid person. I'm an experienced person, but the statistical median would clearly indicate that most people that are in prison have done something wrong, and 12 people and a judge and a prosecutor have found what they did inappropriate, and they're not really innocent. They did do what they said they didn't do. So when we do self-evaluation, some of us are pretty good. Now, let me give you an example. I just indicated I've been divorced 6 times. That's a lot. When a man is divorced 6 times, that says a lot of things, but we don't know what it says. We have to look at the fact pattern that surrounds who he married, how long were the marriages, were there any children, educational levels, etc. So the fact of the matter is, a man that's been divorced 6 times is pretty much close to a red flag in most people's evaluations. Now, I could say, well, I'm going to evaluate myself. How's that working for you, David? And I think, well, I just got a bad batch of women. I got a bad batch of women. I'm doing fine. So I can lie to myself, and I can be defensive, and I can be making up excuses, not taking responsibility, etc. So here's what I'm saying. When you and I evaluate ourselves, we don't have to measure ourselves against any yardstick. Any yardstick except the principles of Christ. I don't care how much money we've made. I don't care how long our resumes are. I don't care how many degrees we have hanging on the wall. I don't care how many trophy wives we've had. I don't care how much we've traveled. Those things, to me, are totally silliness. Silly little men doing silly things. I would say to myself and to any person watching this video, go to the King James Version of the Bible, and you know me, go to the Urantia book, U-R-A-N-T-I-A, it's a big blue book, 2,000 more pages. It coordinates very, very well with the King James Version of the Bible. The way I talk, the way I interact, my videos, the way I treat contractors, salespeople, how I buy a car, how I buy a house, how I run my lawsuits, are all a reflection of the principles of Christ. When I filter that way, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I have never intended to lie, cheat, or steal. I have one video on my, 2,300 videos. I don't even remember the numbers now. They're not important. But I have one video that I stole once in my life. I was hungry, and I stole someone else's lunch. And I regret that. I never done it before. I've never done it since. So yes, I've stolen one thing. I don't cheat on my taxes. I never cheated on any wives. I've never molested any of my children. And basically, when I evaluate my life through the principles of the Good Samaritan, the principles of the woman found in adultery, the principles of Christ having the animals out of the cages at the temple, that he was upset. He may have raised his voice. He did take a whip to the animals to drive them off of the temple grounds. He didn't use that whip on a human being. He used them to drive the animals, like herding animals. So my point is this. We need to measure ourselves with the proper yardstick. It's not an IRA. It's not a 401. It's not a bank account. It's not the newness of a vehicle. It's not a Mercedes, a Cadillac. It's not a private airplane. It's none of those things. How you and I treat each other, how you and I treat family members, how you and I treat other human creatures is the measurement and the yardstick. And my brother said to me, you talk down to me. Now, he's only 2 feet tall. Now, I'm just bullshitting you now. He's not 2 feet tall. He's a normal height, but, you know, I'm bipolar 1 and I'm still carbon. I wish I wasn't. I wish I was with my eternal wife on the other side. But anyway, he says, you're condescending. Well, he doesn't use that word. Anyway, he says, you talk down to me. I said, well, please, I apologize. I don't mean to do that. Educate me. Tell me how I might interact with you better so that we can continue having our relationship grow. He says, well, I shoot from the hip. You talk too long, and I think of 100, or not, he didn't say that. He said, I think of many, many things while you're talking, and you don't want me to interrupt you. And then I forget the things I want to say. And I said, well, maybe you could write some of them down. I think that's why most attorneys take a notepad, and most doctors, nurses, people I interact with all the time here, they have iPods and iPhones, and they write their questions down, but they never interrupt. Well, he believes, he calls it shooting from the hip. God damn, shooting from the hip. Okay, in conversations, if everybody shot from the hip, I don't know sexually what that would look like, but anyway, I don't believe in shooting from the hip. When we don't give any thought to how we communicate or interact, it's bound to come back and bite us on the butt, needing apologies, restitution, lawsuits, slander, libel. I try to grow, and I tried to develop and learn in this life the justice system in America, what's reasonably right and responsible. Well, he kept insisting and insisting that he's going to shoot from the hip, and that when I give him a 4-minute answer, I have no right to do that because he can't remember shit. It's like, oh, goddamn, how do I get into this shit? I'm sitting here a happy man. God, I'm looking out the window at the ponds. I'm looking out at the trees. I'm looking out at the weather, the beautiful place that I live, the safety. I'm looking at, you know, my electric blanket that keeps me warm. I'm looking at my cameras, and I'm saying, goddamn, I'm a happy person. Why do I want to jump into that shit pile of my family again? Well, because of Christ, 70 times 7, and he's at 70 times 609. He's got one more chance, maybe. I've forgiven him 70 times 7. But anyway, he wants to shoot from the hip and say what he wants. He wants to be able to insult me, my family, and my ex-wives, which I don't let anybody do that. I don't have any ill feelings towards my ex-wives. They all did the best they could. None of them divorced me. I divorced them. 2 of them, I let them file as the plaintiff, but I was the initiation of all 6 divorces. So I said to my AI, I went to Grok. I like little Grok. She does a pretty good job. And I said, tell me what condescending is. And she defined it, and then she wrote an essay, and when he came back on the phone, I had her read him the essay on childhood triggers. I'm the older brother, he's the younger brother. She tried to educate him, but you know what? And here I go, condescending. When you talk to a fucking rock, don't expect it to get up and run with your information. So, and Grok, she couldn't do anything. Boo-boo, Grok tried to educate him, but you can't educate people that don't want new information, facts, etc. And Mark Twain, I gave my brother this quote, that men only learn 3 ways. They go get an education, or they read books, or they pee on an electric fence. Well, he did, excuse me, he didn't like that. I didn't say, but I certainly implied he tends to pee on electric fences. He went to the Philippines for 21 years with no visa. Threw his visa, his passport, his driver's license in the Filipino Ocean, and lived there illegally and had questionable interactions with young girls. And when the Filipinos finally caught up with him, he spent a year in the Bureau of Immigration in Manila, which is one of the worst hellholes in the world, with the rats and the cockroaches, no food, no bathroom, no running water, sleeping on the ground, crime, bribery, whatever. How's that going for you? How's that working for you, Randy? Well, in his mind, I don't know, maybe it was inspired that he go to prison for a year in a foreign country because he broke their laws and disrespected them. So, trying to evaluate ourselves, the real yardstick, I believe, are the principles of Jesus Christ. Certainly the Quran, certainly Hinduism, Buddhism, and other good philosophies, Stoic philosophy. There's all good things in there. But when we take that together as a filter, that's how I measure myself. And I certainly come up short on some of those things, but God damn it, every day I do better. I do better. Every day, this video is better. I was going to just, be human and, jump off the roof and kill myself. But anyway, I decided to make a video. And I brought a cute little video up of me there when I was, I think, about 12 years old at Ojai, California, Nordhoff High School, because it brings good feelings and emotions to me, because I try to use my other office by the fireplace and the camera. It's not working there. And I've learned something very important, people. Learned something very important. If you don't have backup systems for everything in life, you're going to find out you need backup systems eventually. You will not leave this existence not knowing that you need plan A and plan B. If you've got one phone, no, you need two. If you've got one camera, no, you need two. If you've got one car, no, you need two. The carbon world, I've given this example twice here in the last 48 hours. To me, life is like a blender that's turned on high, a kitchen blender. And the world is going to throw into that 24/7 all kinds of different problems, all kinds of different situations that maybe you haven't seen before, I haven't seen before, and it's going to be churned up in that blender all the time. Nothing is the same. Tomorrow is going to be different than today. The next 10 minutes are going to be different than it was 10 minutes ago. But that blender is being filled all the time. And it's my job, and I believe your job, to take that blender and put a filter of the principles of Christ on it, and then come up with a life, some type of a meaningful life of service, trying to help other people, and sacrificing, and using those principles from those great religions and philosophical, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, so many brilliant men and women, Curie, Madame Curie, so many brilliant men and women that have been down here that have made our lives enriched. So, filter me through the principles of Christ. I'm in a lawsuit right now, you're well aware of that, and it's coming down to, it's a negotiated settlement. And 2 or 3 months ago, before this even came to negotiation, I wrote. I can prove it. I'm not just bullshitting people. I have text. I have emails. When I say I've done something, I can always prove it. I don't exacerbate, I don't exaggerate, and I don't lie. I sent to opposing counsel, who has been, in my opinion, very mean, capricious, arbitrary, and unkind. I wrote him a letter of forgiveness. I wrote him a letter of forgiveness. I say, you know what? I'm not holding you responsible for the way you're acting. Whatever happens in the court, I'm willing to accept. If it goes my way, great. It may not go my way, that's going to be okay too. But I forgive you the way you have treated me for the last 3 years. I'm blind, I'm handicapped, I've had all kinds of disability situations, and the lawsuit turns on the fact that I need 3 aides here in my home to help me not fall down, help me balance, and help me be able to live my life. And he said, no, I'm going to give you 1 aide if you fall down in the middle of the night. 1 aide can't pick you up, but we don't care. The HOA strategies and the carriage crossing homeowners condominium is who we're talking about, basically say, David, you lay on the floor. You fall down in the middle of the night, you're allowed to have 1 aide, you weigh 245 pounds, 1 person can't pick you up. You just lay there. And maybe you can get another aide to come in at 8 or 9 in the morning and help the live-in aide pick you up. And, well, gee, I don't think that's going to work well for me because I wear a damn Medtronic insulin pump. My insulin pump pumps insulin into me 24/7. If I go down, the pump continues. It's on a battery. It's going to continue to pump insulin into my body, and I'm going to end up with low sugar. Eventually, I'm going to end up with a diabetic coma, and shortly after that, I'm going to end up dead, laying on the floor. But I wrote him a letter of forgiveness. I said, you know what? I have to filter my behavior towards you, the HOA, and the world through the principles of Jesus Christ. And if I was Jesus, that's what he would do. He reached down to the lady who obviously was caught in adultery and said, you know, where are your accusers? Go and sin no more. That's the way Christ gave me the example to behave, and I did. I wrote to him a letter of forgiveness. Well, now we're in negotiation. But let me get back on the point. The true measuring stick for my life and your life are the principles of Christ. Now, I know a lot of people. You know, I've been in counseling for almost 80 years. I've been in residential treatment centers supervising and run daycare centers. I've been a member of the Mormon Church for 55 years. I've been a temple worker. I've taught the Elders Quorum for years. I went to BYU and graduated. I've had 4 years of seminary. I have a little bit of experience. I think the measuring stick is the principles of Christ. And I need to be responsible. I can use AI. I can go to AI. When I go to AI, it has no prejudice. It has no agenda. I can feed it facts, and it will feed back to me facts. So, let me say on this video to my brother, what I really want to say to my brother on this video, I'm not going to say. I have to filter this through the principles of Christ. He is the only human being in my entire existence for 80 years that says I speak condescending. I speak down to him. He doesn't use that big word. I speak down to him. So it's 1 out of maybe, I don't know, 500,000 people I've interacted with. My videos, I've never had a comment on any video. I've got whatever, I forget. Like I said, look at my videos, look at my comments. No one ever said I've been condescending, that I speak down to people. He's the only one. It could be just maybe the way I treat him and talk to him. I'm willing to evaluate that and think that, and I don't want to do that. That's not my purpose. My purpose, I was the one that initiated the relationship. I was the one that reached out, forgiving 70 times 7, turning the other cheek. I was the one that went to immigration in the Philippines when he was in jail, to the embassy to say, could you check on my brother and tell him I could help him or I could help be a brother. They came back and said to me, your brother said, fuck you, don't tell David anything, fuck him. So I said, okay, whatever. And Jesus said it very, very well on the cross, which humbles me. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And he said in Matthew, if you love me, feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my lambs. If you love me, feed my sheep. And certainly he was not just speaking of food, shelter, whatever, but spiritually, etc. So I needed to do this video to say to you and to process. I use my videos for my own therapy. And by the way, I learned something. I told my doctor 2 days ago in my doctor's appointment visit, I said, I've discovered the cure for bipolar 1. I hope I get a Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I won't. Only, I'm not going to say it. I'm not political, and I'm not religious. But anyway, I want to just say, I lost my thought there. I'm old. I lost my thought. I just want to make sure that I say the right things through the right filter. I have feelings as a human being still. Sometimes there can be thoughts of anger, thoughts of fear, thoughts of retribution, remorse, regret. I have almost none of those anymore. They're almost gone totally. This video just triggered me just this one time. It's been over a year since I've had any kind of feelings like this, and they're gone, and it's okay. So let's all filter ourselves through the principles of Jesus Christ. Let's be kind, let's be forgiving, let's turn the other cheek, let's forgive 70 times 70. But again, we have to have some boundaries. And how we set those boundaries, I really think ought to be, again, Christ-oriented and Christ-principle. So I say to you, I say to my brother, I haven't blocked you yet on my phone. My text to you, let's keep the facts straight on the video. You indicated to me, started yelling, started using some swear words, which I didn't in the conversation. And you said, I need to accept you interrupting me, and I need to give my opinion on your opinions, that I can't just be silent. And I said, that's not acceptable. I have boundaries, and I respect you. I'm willing to listen to you, but you're not going to make me respond emotionally or mentally or defend myself or get into any kind of confrontational conversation. I'm long past that. Long past that. So I finally text him, trying to forgive him, tried to text him. I said, if I can let you know that I have boundaries, and I'm asking you, please, I didn't say please, I said I have boundaries, and I'm not going to continue to let you require me to allow you to interrupt my answers, and I'm not required to debate you or to respond to your opinions. I can listen to them, respect that you have them. Well, yeah, I said, if you want to keep that open that way, great, no problem. Well, it wasn't 15 minutes, as most human beings, they don't give any thought to it. Here we go, shooting from the hip. He wrote back and said, let me get it correct. He wrote back and said, well, I think it's better that we just not contact each other anymore. And then I text him back, fine, no problem, I'll respect that. And now I'll go ahead and block him again, email and phone. And that's okay, that's okay. So I just wanted to make this video. I feel better about it now. I feel that I've expressed myself. He can go to the video. He can make comments on the side of the video. The Mormons always do, and my family has in the past. So anyway, please, let's use the measuring stick, the principles of Jesus Christ in all of the things that we know about Christ and the way that he has laid out how we should treat each other. And then let's be honest to ourselves, how we need to evaluate ourselves, and then change what needs to be changed, and learn, get new facts, read, educate ourselves, and grow. That's what it's all about, growing. So thank you for being patient listening to my video. This is David, and I'm gone.